They told the human to stay silent, yet he sat beside the alien princess without a word. The diplomatic hall stretched before them like a cathedral of crystal and light. Ambassador Lisa Martinez adjusted her uniform one final time before stepping through the massive doors. The weight of humanity's first formal contact with the Zephyrian Empire rested on her shoulders. The Zephyrians had made their demands clear through months of careful communication. Humans were to remain completely silent during the ceremony. Not a single word could be spoken in the presence of Princess Zara, their most revered leader. Any sound from human lips would be considered an act of war. Lisa had trained for this moment for 2 years. She knew the protocols by heart. Stand at attention. Bow when instructed. Accept the treaty documents in complete silence. Simple enough for someone who had spent her career navigating complex negotiations. The princess entered the hall like flowing starlight. Her skin shimmered with an iridescent quality that shifted between silver and deep purple. Tall and graceful, she moved with the confidence of someone born to rule entire star systems. Her eyes held an ancient wisdom that made Lisa feel like a child despite her 40 years of experience. Princess Zara took her place on the crystalline throne at the center of the room. Dozens of Zephyrian nobles arranged themselves in perfect formation around her. Each wore robes that seemed to capture and reflect the ambient light in mesmerizing patterns. The ceremony began with a series of harmonic tones that resonated through the crystal walls. Lisa felt the vibrations in her bones. The sound was hauntingly beautiful, unlike anything in human music. She found herself drawn into the rhythm despite her training to remain focused. As the opening rituals continued, Lisa noticed something unexpected. The princess kept glancing in her direction, not with suspicion or curiosity, but with something that looked almost like loneliness. It was a fleeting expression, gone as quickly as it appeared, but Lisa caught it each time. The formal presentation of terms began. A Zephyrian official read from a glowing tablet in their musical language. Lisa understood none of the words, but the tone suggested great importance. She stood motionless as required, her hands clasped behind her back. Then something went wrong. A younger Zephyrian noble stepped forward and began speaking in rapid, agitated tones. The princess's expression darkened. Other nobles joined the discussion, their voices rising in what sounded like heated disagreement. Lisa watched as the carefully planned ceremony devolved into chaos. Through her translator device, she caught fragments of the argument. Some nobles believed humans were too primitive for any meaningful alliance. Others questioned whether humanity posed a threat to their empire. The debate grew more intense by the minute. Princess Zara raised her hand for silence. When she spoke, her voice carried absolute authority. Lisa's translator whispered the meaning into her ear. The human ambassador will demonstrate her species' worth through the trial of understanding. Lisa's blood ran cold. This was not part of the original agreement. The trial of understanding was something mentioned only in the most ancient Zephyrian texts her team had studied. It required the participant to sit in complete silence while experiencing visions induced by Zephyrian technology. Many subjects never returned from the mental journey. 2 guards approached Lisa with a device that looked like a crown made of living light. She had seconds to decide whether to accept this unexpected challenge or risk insulting the Zephyrians by refusing. Either choice could doom humanity's chances for peace. Lisa stepped forward and allowed them to place the device on her head. The world exploded into sensation. She found herself experiencing memories that were not her own. She saw the rise and fall of civilizations across the galaxy. She felt the weight of decisions that affected billions of lives. Most overwhelming of all, she experienced Princess Zara's own memories of isolation and responsibility. Through the shared consciousness, Lisa understood that the princess had ruled alone for over 3 centuries. She had watched countless species rise and fall. She had made alliances and seen them crumble. The loneliness of absolute power had worn away at her soul like water eroding stone. Lisa also saw why the princess had looked at her with such interest. In Lisa's quiet determination and careful composure, she recognized a kindred spirit, someone who understood the burden of representing others, someone who knew what it meant to carry the hopes and fears of an entire people. The visions continued for what felt like hours, but was probably only minutes. Lisa experienced the princess's childhood, her ascension to power, her struggles with rebellious nobles, and her secret hope that humanity might prove different from the other species she had encountered. When the device was finally removed, Lisa found herself sitting on the crystal floor beside the princess's throne. She had no memory of moving there, but somehow it felt exactly where she belonged. The princess was looking at her with an expression of wonder and recognition. The Zephyrian nobles whispered among themselves. Some seemed shocked by what had transpired, others nodded with apparent approval. Lisa realized that by surviving the trial of understanding, and somehow ending up beside their leader, she had accomplished something unprecedented. Princess Zara spoke softly. Her words meant for Lisa alone. In 300 years of rule, no being has ever seen what you have seen. You understand the cost of leadership. You know the weight of representing others. Perhaps your species is ready for true partnership. Lisa remained silent as instructed, but she nodded slightly to show her understanding. The princess smiled, the first genuine expression of joy Lisa had seen from her during the entire ceremony. The formal alliance was signed that day, but it was the silent understanding between two leaders that truly sealed the bond between their peoples. Sometimes the most important communications happen without words. Years later, historians would mark this moment as the beginning of humanity's golden age among the stars. But Lisa would always remember it as the day she learned that true diplomacy sometimes meant simply being present for someone who needed to be understood. The Zephyrian Empire became humanity's greatest ally, and Princess Zara became Lisa's closest friend across the cosmos. All because a human ambassador knew when to stay silent and when to simply sit beside someone who needed companionship in their moment of deepest solitude.